Okay, let's get welcome everybody. This is the BS. Yep. So what we're going to do today is go over the different aspects of webinar and also like why do students get rejected, right? So the number one reason why students get rejected, you're going to learn all about it today. So let me just, okay. So that's what you're going to learn. Any questions, please put them in the chat and I will answer them. Okay. Why strong students get rejected and how to build a profile that's remembered. A bit about me. I'm Coach Joe. I'm the CEO of Gifted Gabber. I'm the COO of the South Asian Herald newspaper. I'm the director of Inspire Youth Nonprofit. I'm the G100 Education, Employment, and Scholarships country lead. And I'm a TEDx speaker and a coach and a curator. Okay. So helping students build exceptional profile, earn scholarships, and gain admission to their dream colleges is what we are focused on. Okay. So I'm going to ask you 3 questions for gut check. Most parents here will get them wrong, but that's okay. This is diagnostic. Okay, 1560 SAT is your child's strongest BSMD application asset. Anyone, please put them in the chat, true or false. Okay, I'm not hearing anything, it's false. A high score helps your child qualify. It does not make them memorable, okay? Next is 100 plus hospital volunteer hours make a student stand out. True or false? Okay, it is false because clinical exposure matters, but the hours alone does not create a medical spike. I'm going to explain to you what a medical spike is. And BSMD admissions officers prefer well-rounded students. What is your answer for this? Okay, the answer is false. They do not remember well-rounded. They remember clear medical direction and proof. Well-rounded blends in, medical spike stands out. Okay, so what we're going to cover today is why do strong BSMD students still get rejected? What makes a student profile memorable? The medical spike formula and what to build next. So first, the proof. Student success by the numbers. Okay, so our students have won 15 million in scholarship, 400 plus acceptances, 200 plus students served, 90% acceptance rate. So these are all the colleges that my students have gotten into. And the difference isn't luck, it's a clear medical spike and proof. Okay, what we can do and what we can't promise. We cannot promise admissions, scholarships, interviews, program acceptance, but we can help you build strategy, story, medical spike, application clarity, and proof blending plan, right? So that is the strategy that wins is what we can help you. Okay, so every student is different and success depends on a student's profile, which is grades, test scores, essays, and interviews. Timeline, how early the student starts building proof. Work ethic, how consistently the student completes the work. School list, whether the student applies to the right fit programs. And application strength, how strong the story, the medical spike, and proof connects. Okay, so BSMD selectivity is real, right? Most of the programs have very limited seats, but they guarantee medical pathway. Some of them don't have MCAT. Strong applicant pool already has very high GPA scores, research, and medical exposure. Programs choose future doctors early because you have to show, you have to like future proof and show them what you're capable of as a physician, right? Your child cannot just be qualified, they've got to be memorable, right? So when I ask students, what is a medical spike? They'll spit out a lot of activities that they're doing, but it's not activities. What is it that you want to do as a doctor is what is the question that they need to answer. Now, a strong student can be one of many, high GPA, strong SAT, ACT, they have a lot of APs, clinical exposure, research, service, and leadership. Okay, the real question is my child memorable? Right? So that's something that's very, very important. So three things have changed in the past 5 years. Is more and more applicants are applying to the BSMD. They have checklist advice. They're getting some basic advice, and they all have very similar profiles: high GPA, SAT, hospitals, hours, research, HOSA, and shadowing. What used to look impressive now often looks normal. Okay. And that's why students need a medical spike, not a checklist. Now, BSMD is like Ivy level selectivity without the Ivy name. Okay, they have small number of seats. They have a large applicant pool, right? Small seats, too many applicants. Strong students everywhere. They have high GPA and high scores. There's little room for generic profiles, of course, right? And a high achieving student can still blend in and not stand out, right? This is the reality. You want to take a snapshot of this? Go ahead. Okay, selective programs remember medical spikes, right? So families are told to add SAT prep, hospital hours, summer programs, research roles, shadowing, essay help, consultants, right? A busier student is not the goal. The goal is not to be busy and make your resume 5 pages long. The goal is to make a student profile that is very clear, has a lot of clarity in it, right? A checklist creates activity. A medical spike creates a direction, right? So that is what is lacking here in preparing the profile. So as a result, they become indistinguishable, which is invisible. So if they look like everybody else, they're not going to be remembered. Okay, if a student is hard to remember, they're very easy to reject, right? Medical spike is what makes students easier to remember, right? That's one solution. So if you're seeing gaps, do not guess, right? So that's what we offer, like $100 refundable clarity call, where we go over what could be the potential spike, medical spike, profile gaps, and the best next steps. Okay. And most students are not missing effort. They're missing a connection with their activities, right? They all seem very, very random and scattered. So activities do not have one medical direction, right? That's a problem. And research feels random. Like hospital hours don't seem to lead to any insight. Service does not show a clear cause. And leadership is just a title. It's just a checklist. And the resume is looking full, but it does not have a focus, right? So how many of you struggle with this problem? Hands up, hands down. Anyone? How many of you suffer from this problem, or you have questions about how to build a profile, right? It's like five pages long resume, but it does not make sense, right? Who here has that? Second. Yeah, I'll get to your question towards the end. Let me just finish my presentation. I'll give you an opportunity to ask your question. Okay, appreciate it. Please don't forget to ask those questions. Okay, so let me just continue. I'm almost done. Okay, a lot is happening, but nothing seems connected. That's the biggest problem. Okay, so this is not just about the money. Families spend thousands on a test prep, tutoring, summer program, research program, consulting, essay help. But the biggest cost is wasted summer, right? Student burnout by continuously putting them in that kind of uh, stress. It's like a lot of stress, scattered resume, weak medical story, and lost time, right? That's the real cause, is having a weak medical story. You could have spent like thousands of hours in doing different things, but if your outcome is this, then it's not worth it at all. You're doing something entirely wrong. More is not the answer if it is not connected. Okay. So there is another path, and that's what I'm here to show you, which is not more panic, not more guessing, a clear medical story. Okay. The problem is, it's not that your child is weak. The problem is the profile is not memorable, right? Your child is extremely smart, but their reflection or their profile or resume is not making them memorable, right? So there are three mechanisms for the BSMD that we have created. One is a medical spike, is a clear medical story. The buffer protocol, which is protected time to build real proof. Institutional need, which is like matching the student's story to the programs, which makes sense, right? These are the three mechanisms. You want to take a snapshot, you can go ahead and take it. This is how students become memorable. This is the framework. Okay. So, number one, we're going over the medical spike. It's not like I want to be a doctor. It's like I care about a specific problem. It's like pediatric cancer. And I have built proof around it. I've spent some time in doing research. I've spent some time in working with kids who are struggling with pediatric cancer, right? So that is your medical spike. It can be teen mental health, it can be cancer research, it can be rural medicine. I have a student who wants to give eye test to a rural area in Texas. Okay, senior care, taking care of seniors, health equity. I had the student who got into Mercer and UMKC and Augusta because she cared about health equity in parts of Georgia, right? So that is a clear problem that you intend to solve. It can be vaccine education, AI in healthcare. A spike makes a student to be remembered, right? So it's a strong cause that is there that kind of makes them memorable, right? So next is protected time that builds proof. So research, they write, they kind of write a research paper. They serve in the community. They lead in projects. They build something to solve a problem, and they present their work, right? So these are some proof that you've got to showcase in your profile. Okay, being busy is not enough. Focused time creates proof. So every time people ask me, what kind of activity should I pick? I tell them, what is the outcome of that particular activity? What is the proof that you're going to be able to show with that particular activity, right? So that's important. And the third is matching the medical spike to the right program, right? That's something that I'm going to show you right now. Rural health, you serve the underserved community, right? Cancer research, you focus on pediatric cancer or some skin cancer or things like that. Public health, service focused programs that you do. You are trying to bring public policy to product to protect mothers who have newborns. My students have done that. Next is AI healthcare, which is mostly innovation based programs that you build. So good grades show readiness. A medical spike shows they are fit to be a future physician, right? So these are the three mechanisms. Okay. And why I built Gifted Gabber? I'm an immigrant. I studied in India. I was so frustrated with how the complicated college system is, and specifically BSMD, right? And I wanted to build to help immigrant parents to stop guessing and build a strategy. Get it? And I saw brilliant kids getting rejected. I get hired a lot when students don't make it. And at that time, I'm a coroner doing a postmortem. It's the most depressing aspect of my job. I'm like, oh my God, this kid has such a beautiful passion and story, but it's not reflected in their essays, in their profile, in their resume. So that's what I come up with. And I don't want to do that postmodern job. They have 4.0 GPA, they have a high SAT, AP classes, hospital hours, hardworking parents. They're not weak, they're not lazy, they're not positioned well, right? And that's what it is. And I'm going to show you two applicants side by side, a strong but generic. Then you have the applicant B who has a specific medical spike. Which student would you remember? Okay, this is a question I want to ask you. Okay, applicant A is a very generic student. Okay, and applicant B has a medical profile. Who do you think colleges prefer? Anyone? Come on, answer. People who answer them get special rewards. Yes, wonderful. Okay, so you are wonderful participants. I'm going to continue. Okay. Okay, and then, so I'm going to show you applicant A. You see beautiful GPA, SAT, volunteer, HOSA president. It says I'm a strong pre-med student, right? But it does not say this is the medical problem I care about. It's specific enough. It's like, I wanted to do something in medicine. Which area and why? I'm interested in psychology and I like this. So something like that. So this is applicant A. Now, applicant A was still rejected, not because the student was weak, because the profile was strong but generic. 100 plus hospital hours showed exposure, but hours alone did not create a medical spike. Okay, strong is not always memorable. Get it? Maya did have a perfect checklist. Okay, applicant B. She had a clear medical spike. She had healthcare policy for rural seniors. Okay. So she had direction in where she was headed. Her purpose, it was very clear. Specificity, she had one specific problem that she had focused on, right? And she had proof of the number of hours she put in, the events that she conducted, and everything was there. And the reason to be remembered, right? So these are some things that are very, very essential because it gives the admission officer a future snapshot of what your child's going to be as a physician, right? And you don't prove that and you feel like your application needs to be a jigsaw puzzle, right? The admission officer needs to figure it out. Not you're not going to tell them anything that's valuable or any story. You're just giving it to the admission officer to make their own conclusion, right? And they don't have time. They have 8 minutes for an application. So it's got to be crystal clear, right? They've got to look at the application, click accept it, throw money, which is scholarship, and move on. And that's not happening with generic profiles. That's not happening if you don't have a medical spike, a direction, or a story. Who's in agreement with me? Anyone? What are your thoughts? Anyone want to share what your thoughts are? Yeah. Okay, so let's continue. I just have a few more and we can wind up and I can ask you questions. Mhm. Maya did not care. She proved it, right? She researched rural senior healthcare. She wrote a policy brief and she gave presentations to build awareness. She built a cohort or a team or a group of people, a community to help her, right? And her application was just not a list, it was a story, right? It's a very clear path, it's a very clear story. They're looking for commitment, right? So they can be assured that this particular student is going to be an amazing physician, right? So that's what made her spike believable. Okay. So what have we learned? There are 5 lessons that we can learn from applicant A and B. Okay. High scores matter, but they're not the full story. Clinical exposure matters, but the hours alone are not enough. Research matters, but random research is weak. Leadership matters, but titles are not proof. Medical spike is what makes students memorable. Okay. If you want, you can take a snapshot of this. This gives you the 5 lessons from the applicants to make them uh, present themselves as future physicians. Okay. The goal is not more activity, the goal is clearer proof. Okay, seeing the difference, we have a clarity call that you can schedule where you can find the spike. Okay, now I'm going to ask you a question, a gut check question. Do you see why a perfect looking profile can still get rejected? Anyone? Do you agree with me when I say that a perfect profile can get rejected? Yes, that is true. That has happened many, many, many times, right? Okay. Polishing makes it look nicer. It's lacking a polish, right? It's like an uncut diamond that you're given, right? That's not better than a polished diamond, right? So do you see the difference between polishing and architecting, right? So architecting makes it better. Okay, I have a degree in architectural engineering, so I have a lot of reference to architecture, blueprints, and everything. Okay, so a 30-minute call with me, you for your child's profile, we can go over a possible medical spike. What are the gaps in activities, research, leadership, and everything, and the next steps for strategic readiness. This is what you're going to get with a clarity call, and it's quite a steal at $100. If you enroll in any of the Gifted Gabber programs, you get you get the $100 refunded back. If not, you gain tremendously good knowledge. So you can schedule a call with me, and I can kind of go over. Yeah, thank you, sweetie. Yeah, yeah, and yes, like you have 2 links, so you have the opportunity to book a call with either one of us. Okay. Yeah, so I'm almost done. This keeps coming here. Okay. Yeah, so it's not a program decision, it's a clarity decision. We're not asking you to like enroll into any program or anything. It's like testing it out, right? A test drive, right? And many BSMD families have invested in test prep, tutoring, summer programs, research, consultants, essay, application help. So the question is, should I spend $100? You've already spent so much money. Okay, so the question should be, how do I protect that I've already invested, right? So that's the question that you need to ask. And that's what we're going to help you with. How can you protect your investment? Like I said, without a medical spike, there's no profile, right? So you leave with clarity, your current profile, where you stand, what is a possible medical spike, what are the gaps in your profile, the direction to connect, the next strategic steps. You get all of that in the $100 call, right? So there are no fake promises. We are not going to guarantee BSMD admission, scholarships, interview, program acceptance. We don't guarantee that. What we can help is a possible medical spike, clarity on gaps in activities, research, service, next steps, and a clear plan is what you will get. No fakeness here, right? No fake promises, and honest strategy. Get it? So that's what you're going to get from the call. So what happens is the time is the real constraint. The webinar, we'll run it again, right? That's not scarce. What scarce is my calendar. I'm going to Iceland next week, right? Our mentor availability, our 90-day build window. We build profiles in 90 days, and time before applications. If you're a senior who's applying to colleges, time is running out. We want to give you the priority. Okay, every week you wait is one less week to build, right? That's what is important. Which one are you? Are you the parent who keeps collecting more activities, more information, more knowledge, or are you a parent who starts building with strategy? Right? That's the most important thing. One keeps collecting information, one starts building. So are you a collector or are you a builder? That's the question, right? And pick the next steps tonight. You can either book a $100 clarity call You can keep using the free resources and everything and keep learning. It's not customized to your child. It's quite generic, of course. And then watch the replay of this with your spouse, right? Those are your three choices. The path that does not exist is going back to the old playbook and hope it works. What is the old playbook? Generic checklist profile, not having a medical spike. You can go back to that, but that's not going to help you, right? So strong students need strategy. They may already have grades, scores, activities, and hard work. They're hardworking. What they need is a story, proof of their achievement, proof, tangible, measurable results. How many hours, how many events, how many people showed up, right? A medical spike. I'm interested in athletes for high school students' injuries, right? And then the architecture, right? How are we going to build this? What is the blueprint? You can't start building a house without a plan, right? So that's what you're going to get, right? And stop guessing. Build a plan. You first go to an architect to create a blueprint, right? You just don't start building, oh, I'm just going to wing it as I go. Okay. I don't know how many rooms I want. I'm just going to build a foundation. That's it. And what materials you're going to use, you don't know. How you want the uh, whole house built. Do you want to make it like economic? Do you want to make it like really environmental friendly with low kind of emission, low kind of environmental harm, right? All those things are required to help you build, right? What is your budget? How many rooms do you have? How many bathrooms can you afford to build? Right? Do you need 2 car or 3 car garage? Everything adds up to that to build that house, right? So we want you to architect in the next 90 days. So set up a clarity call with us where we help you with the medical spike, the profile gaps, and the next steps. Okay.